we're going to listen to our very own Mike's presentation on 1, 2 and 3. Just let him do his present, give him some feedback at the end, and I'm just going to film him. Good luck, mate.
So step 1, we admitted that we were powerless over our addiction, that our lives had become unmanageable. The disease of addiction, the obsessiveness. I used to obsess every time I got paid, just obsessing about going out, getting drugs, drinking. It always started off with a drink. I used to go to the pub, and as soon as I'd swigged that first swig of a pint, I was obsessed about getting drugs, cocaine. Them obsessive thoughts just overpowered everything for me. Just came totally out of control. The obsessiveness about going, I even ran to dealers, ran to meet them when they said I'll be half an hour, so I can get there in 20 minutes, I'll fucking run to you. So just went. The endless loops of just doing the same thing over and over again, going to the pub, drinking, thinking, oh, I'll stop it next week when I get paid, I'll sort it all out, but it had never happened. I'd just been doing the same thing over and over again. Compulsiveness and the disease of the mind. The disease of the mind one's massive for me because it just changes my thoughts, how I feel and how I think about things. The disease of the mind is a huge one for me. The denial tells me that I don't have a disease. I always used to think that a disease was something that you had to go to hospital with. I didn't think there was a disease of addiction, but since coming to a treatment centre, there is a disease that needs to be cured. I used to blame other people for my addiction. I couldn't see my kids, my dad's death, I used to blame that for my addiction. I used to use that as an excuse. Used to blame my cousins and that when I used to go out drinking with them, saying, oh well, they've asked me to come out, it's their fault that I'm drinking, it's their fault that I'm using cocaine, and they've asked me to ring a dealer, so I was going to ring someone and get on it. I'm rationalising as well, thinking, well, I'm not harming anybody, I'm only harming myself. I'm thinking, oh well, I've only had 4 pints, I've only had 1 bag, I'll just stop at this, but it never ended that way. It used to go out of control. Hitting bottom as well, suicidal attempts. I've had numerous attempts of suicide, taking medication, painkillers, hanging off the end of a rope. Tried to slice myself in the past as well. That's where it used to take me when I was hitting bottom, suicidal attempts. Isolation, massive. Used to just be locked away in my flat, locked away in my van, crying my eyes out, not talking to people. That's where disconnection comes into as well. Not talking to people about addiction, how I feel. Being locked away in the dark, crying my eyes out, not talking to anybody about how I feel, opening up to people. And the loss of everything, my family, my dad. I used to use that as an excuse, but that's the excuses of addiction. Loss of my kids as well, loss of jobs, loss of homes, loads of stuff in there, loss of everything. Powerlessness, manipulating people. I used to manipulate people to make them feel sorry for me. Just saying, they say, oh, he's lost his dad, he can't see his kids, he's lost his job, we'll bring him in and feed him and give him money and stuff. And even when I went away on holiday, I used to manipulate people when I'd spent all my own funds. I used to manipulate them to give me money to go and get drugs. And failed attempts of trying to stop using drink and drugs. I used to join the gym, I used to go for runs, I used to move towns, change jobs, go working away. But even when you go working away, for me, when you go working away, you're just left to your own devices, and you've got nobody to got no commitments when you're working away really, because you're just on your own, left to your own devices, going to the pub. You don't have people to go home to. And admitting to people that, you know what, I'm struggling, I need help with my addiction. That admitting to yourself and to other people that you do need help. It's just a fear-based illness as well, isn't it? Negative feelings. I never used to feel good about myself in addiction. I used to always feel down and depressed, and used to push people away. Unmanageability, inner unmanageability was like my mental health. My mental health and my addiction is absolutely rock bottom. Like that comes into suicide attempts as well. Outer unmanageabilities with job opportunities, working commitments. I used to get stressed at work and used to use on I can't deal with the pressures at work, so I'll just finish early and pick and choose what I do. So then I'll just run off to the pub just to suppress my feelings and make myself feel better. Job losses again, unmanageability, and I used to turn up, and even when I did turn up, and pick and choose what I do, just so I can have an easy day. Yeah, and what's that? No consideration for others, especially me family. Put my family through hell in my addiction. My kids didn't consider how I would make them feel. No consideration for me, even like my bosses at work. I wouldn't consider like they were setting things out for me to do, and I just not even turn up to do my jobs. And consider how it would affect their company and stuff like that. Surrender, accepting recovery, moving here into Alicia House. Moving in here is the biggest step you can make, and admitting to yourself that you need to surrender on a daily basis. And you definitely can never get clean successfully on your own. Reaching out to Powers Ways, well, we'll jump on that into step 2 in a minute. Abstinence, you have to stay abstinent from all drugs, including drink. Abstinence is massive. Spiritual principles, open-minded. If you've not got an open-minded when you're in a treatment centre, or even when you're trying to get clean, you can't. Even in the rooms of NA, when you're trying to openly share about where you're at and listening to suggestions, if your mind's blocked from your thoughts, nothing else can get in, so you need to remain open-minded. And willingness, you've got to be willing to do this, to get clean, to save yourself from more pain and heartache and suicide attempts, job losses, and yeah, you've got to be willing to change all areas of your life, being able to recover. Trust is massive, number one for me. I didn't even trust myself in addiction, you know what I mean? So trusting other people that they're going to help me get clean, trusting other people where I'm going to share stuff in my step work in meetings that it's not going to get spread out into the community. And faith, praying to God and having faith in my own ability as well, that I can come in here and turn my life around for the better. Yeah, so that's step 1. Step 2, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity, hope, living clean. Now, that scared me when I first came into Alicia House and into the rooms of NA, living. How am I going to be able to live without taking drugs and drinking and be able to live with them feelings clean? It's a scary thought. You're not alone, there's always somebody out there to talk to you and help you on your journey of recovery. Especially in the rooms of NA, and if you're fortunate enough to be in a treatment centre like I am, you're definitely not going to be alone, because you've got your peers, you've got the staff, you've got everyone around you. The hope that the 12 steps was going to help, I could actually finish the 12 steps and go through the pain, because when I've been doing my step 1, 2 and 3 and I'm on my 4 and 5 at the moment, I used to think that how's a book going to save my life? How's a book going to stop me from using drugs? How's sharing to people where I'm at? How's that going to help me? But it does, it helps massively. And hope about family as well, that my family's going to be secure about me, thinking, oh, is he dead? Is he still using? We're worried to death about him. Hope that I'll get my kids back, and hope that I'll be able to be a success in my family, because I used to always class myself as a failure. Yeah, insanity. Running on self-will, just making decisions for myself based on what I can get and what I want, just to benefit my needs, really. I used to always think that I only had one problem, that was taking cocaine, but I couldn't manage my day-to-day life. I couldn't manage a job, I couldn't manage even having a wash or a shower, wouldn't even brush my teeth. Yeah, but in reality I had a massive problem, that was dealing with life on life terms, and I couldn't do that. Using at work as well, I used to put loads of people at risk. Taking cocaine while I'm on a scissor lift in a ceiling void where nobody else could see me, fitting electrical cables, plastering. I've had loads of numerous jobs, and I used to always use at work because nobody was there watching me. I used to be always on my own in ceiling voids or in the boiler room, just sneaking off just to use at work, and I was putting everybody else at risk as well as myself. My life was totally out of balance. Like, I couldn't commit to things, I couldn't hold jobs down, I was always in and out of work, I was always in and out of my family, just hiding away in flats, just getting off my head, just totally out of balance. Coming to believe that's moving into Alicia House, that seeing people who've done it before me, like the likes of Richard, Danny, Howard, my friends who have seen, who were met in a supported housing, have seen it working for them, so I was starting to believe that it can work for me if I apply it to my day-to-day life and just remain teachable, that Alicia House can and will save my life, and the literature as well. I read the literature quite a lot, especially if I'm up during the night and I've got nobody else to talk to over the phone and everyone's in bed. I just start reading the literature, and I just take little bits out of the books and stuff that'll restore me to sanity and help me come to believe that, you know what, even these people in these books are helping me just by reading a book. Religion. I didn't really believe in religion when I was in addiction. I used to think God was against me for the way that I used to live my life. I used to think he was punishing me. But since going to church on a Thursday with Greg and reaching the higher power and getting that Holy Spirit, that something else changed inside me spiritually. And I do believe that step 2's, because step 1's all about the pain and what I've caused in the addiction. Step 2 was like reaching out to people and telling them honestly where I'm at with my feelings and my thoughts. So yeah, and in the rooms of NA and AA as well, because I never used to like AA when I first went to my first NA meeting. I used to see people hugging and stuff, and I never used to think I had a drink problem. But when I started doing some step work, digging deep and looking into myself, it was the first thing I picked up and the last thing I put down. So I am an alcoholic, and the rooms of NA coming to like listening to people's shares, main shares. We had one last night, and we simplified the steps, like how to go through the step work. So yeah, I'm pushing through that self-obsession as well. I think that's massive. Like when you sat in them rooms of NA and you can find it in yourself, oh, should I share, shouldn't I? Not when you push through it. And I tried to get in there early as well, not just wait for the newcomers' time. Just push in, and then once you've shared, you become open-minded. It's not blocked with what you're going to say. You can take other people's shares in and listen to it. Power's greater than ourselves. The staff here at Alicia House, even the people in the rooms of NA, and my peers, like the lads who I always talk to the lads about where I'm at openly and honestly. I don't hide nothing from anybody. And very quick. I had a scenario this morning talking to Scott upstairs, and he sat down, taught me a few things, applied the spiritual principles, and the day's just getting better. Meetings as well, that's definitely a power greater than ourselves, because like we said, we can never do this alone. It says it here in Hope. Sharing openly and honestly where you're at in a meeting, it's one of the best things you'll ever do. If you start hiding things back, how you're feeling, and you're just reserving place for a relapse. So just get everything out there that you can. And a higher power, reaching out to God and getting on my hands and knees, saying my prayers. I never used to do that in addiction, and I've started doing that on a regular basis from the very first day I moved into Alicia House. It's been suggested to me that your higher power will help you. And even like I've mentioned it before, like say 3-4 o'clock in the morning, you can't sleep or you're crying or whatever, just he's always there. You're not alone. You can always talk to God, or whatever you class your higher power, you can always reach out to him. Restoration to sanity is a process. It's not going to happen overnight. You need to feel the pain of your step work, and when you're sharing and stuff, talking to people, it's all a process. Moving into Alicia House, that's the beginning of your process. Admitting to yourself that you've got a problem, you can't do it alone, you need help. It's all part of the process. No obsessions. I don't wake up anymore with the obsessions to use drink or drugs. I'll openly admit that to you, but the obsessions around relationships with kids, are they going to accept me back into my life? Can I be a successful member of a company again, working for them? Am I going to be reliable? I do suffer with them obsessions. Letting go of expectations. See, I suffer with this massively, because I expect people to be doing what I'm doing, but when you start putting expectations on other people, then you just cause yourself a whole lot of pain. So, speaking out, massive. Talking to your powers greater than yourselves, and openly sharing in meetings, even to the staff and people that you don't hardly speak to, just telling them, you know, like there is a way out, there is a way out for me, and this is where I'm at, and I very quickly restored me to sanity and said, you know what, you're in the right place, you're doing all right, just keep doing what you're doing, you'll be fine. And the step work as well, putting everything into your step work, being totally honest, getting vulnerable as well, I think that's massive. Yeah, just signs of growth, that step work. It's painful, but it's very rewarding. Spiritual principles, open-minded, I've touched on that. You need to be open-minded to suggestions, new suggestions coming in, so you can work on that when people suggest new things to you. Willingness, yeah, you need to be willing to surrender to your old life, just to be a success, and just to do it for yourself, and then everything else will come back to your faith again. Yeah, reaching out to your powers greater, your higher power, faith in your own ability. I've mentioned that before, but it's massive to me. I do suffer with self-doubt, but by drumming that into my mind every day, that I know I can do this, I need to have faith in my own ability to overcome the disease of addiction and work on it on a daily basis, and acceptance as well. Accept, you know what, I have surrendered, I do need help, and there is people out there to help me. And humility, listening to people's struggles and that, instead of just like looking at them and judging them, and showing humility at where people are and trying to help them as well, trying to help them through their recovery journey. So yeah, you need to have humility in recovery. That's step 2. Step 3, we made the decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of a God, as we understood it. Making a decision, you can make a decision at any time to speak to God. Like I said, you don't have to, there's no time limit, you're never alone. You can reach out to him at 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Even sometimes during the day, if you're struggling, you don't have to get down on your hands and knees, you can just say it in your head. And yeah, your higher power's always there. Decision making, I try my best not to make any decisions based on myself now, because running on my self-will, it just never turns out well, so I always have to try and act on God's will. Stress, yeah, stress is making decisions used to stress me out. I used to have a lot of stress during work and family commitments, and making a decision for God to help me and guide me through that, it's helping me massively. Yeah, and again, that you're never alone. You're never alone in this journey. Running on self-will, self-destruct, like taking cocaine, staying in the pub. I was just killing myself basically, just destroying my life, and not just mine. It was affecting others as well. It was affecting my family, my kids, my employees, my friends, my girlfriends, relationships. It was just absolute chaos. No consideration for other people's feelings. Yeah, and I used to be stealing as well, especially at work, because I used to be working in like construction, so it was just very easy to pick people's tools up and take them to cash converters to fund my addiction, being very, very selfish. And yeah, that's what I do when I run on self-will. The God of our understanding, communication is massive. Talking to people, talking to God, talking to the staff here when you're struggling, even in meetings, talking to other people. Yeah, it's huge. Saying my prayers. I say my prayers on a daily basis. Even sometimes I say my prayers in the morning as soon as I wake up and make my bed, and I say my prayers. Say it sometime during the day when I'm struggling with something, especially with my first thought, when thoughts come into my head, that's when I start struggling. So I just reach out to my higher power, and it'll help me through that growth. And when you say your prayers and you've come through them difficult days, like the day after, you'll start feeling growth in yourself. Do you know what, I did get through that bad day, so I can get through another bad day. It's alright to not be able to have a bad day, as long as you don't pick up and use and just speak out to powers greater than yourself and your higher power. Yeah, so if you come through the bad days, when you get a good day, you do feel growth and peace as well. Speaking out to God, he'll always give you peace and acceptance of your past. When you come through the bad days, you'll have peace, thinking, do you know what, I'm all like this because I've come through a bad day. Yeah, so having peace. Turning it over, my will. My will was just total chaos, causing my family a whole lot of pain. Like even my kids used to say to the mums and that, does my dad not even care about it? That's because I was acting on my will. If I just say to God now, just you take care of everything, I'll just take care of what I can take care of. Here in Alicia House in the rooms of NA, and yeah, my will was never good. Surrender on a daily basis. I need to surrender to the fact that I'm here in the treatment centre. I'm writing stuff down in my step work, surrender to my old life. I ask God to forgive me for my sins that I've done as well. So yeah, surrendering on a daily basis is massive to me. Trusting God's will, that God only wants the best for us. He doesn't want us to be that bad person. He wants us to forgive ourselves mainly. That yeah, we might have been in addiction in the past, but we wasn't bad people. We just made bad choices. Saying my prayers again, turning it over. Do that. I've touched on that in this one as well. And spinning some principles of trust is massive. Honesty, being open and honest to your peers in your step work, in meetings. Honesty is a sign of growth, and having hope that God is always there for me, and hope that I will complete the 12-step program, and remaining open-minded at all times, because if your mind is blocked, new suggestions, new ideas and new ways to live your life, it's just going to block everything out if you're not open-minded. So yeah, that's my step.